and he puts in a pretty small bet of $255. I don't think there's much to do here. We probably have the best hand, and I think we're just gonna put in the call. Looking for a good river to help us out. Pot's getting pretty big here, and boom, gin. We hit the 10 of diamonds. This is a sweet card. So I start with the check, and our friend bets $415. We don't have a lot of options here. We've got $2,200 left, and we're just gonna have to go Rip City all in.
What's up, everybody? My name is Yale Greenfield, aka the Live King, and I want to welcome you to the world premiere of my poker vlog. I've been playing poker professionally for about the last 7 years, and I decided to make this vlog because many people close to me, my friends, family, a lot of people don't really understand what it is that I do. So this will be an intimate look for the world to see at what it's like to be a professional poker player. I will be traveling to places like Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Miami, amongst other locations to play poker. I recently got back from a 6-week trip to Los Angeles, and now we're gonna get straight into the action from that trip. Welcome to the vlog. Yale Greenfield, aka the Live King. We are at Hollywood Park Casino on this beautiful Friday here in LA. And Hollywood Park always tends to have good action. It's gonna be a 500 to 2,500 no limit, 510. Tends to run as 510-20 also. And if that takes a little bit of time to start, we'll probably play the 3 to 500, 5-5 no limit. So yeah, try to play solid and get a win today. Catch up with you later.
All right, guys, very first hand of the vlog here. We pick up King Jack off in middle position. We isolate a limper to $50. The button calls, the small blind calls, the big blind calls, and the limper's gonna call. So we got a wild one on this very first hand of the vlog. We're going 5 ways to a flop. Flop comes down, King, Queen, Jack, 2 clubs. And I think this is a very interesting decision point because I can see arguments for betting and checking. I've leaned more towards checking in these spots, mostly because the amount of combinations that the opponents can have here are plentiful. So hands like Ace-10 and 10-9, even hands like King-Queen. So I start with a check. The button, who I'm unfamiliar with, bets $115. The small blind gets out of the way. The big blind calls, the limper calls, and I don't think our decision is very close here. We put in the call. Gonna need a clean turn card here because there's a lot of bad ones. And we get it, we get a break. We decide to play in flow and continue to check, and it checks through. River's another brick, and now I think we have a clear value bet situation. I think it's always gonna be a small bet. We go for 300 and everybody quickly folds.
Thank you.
Into the next hand here, we pick up 9-8 of spades in middle position. We raise it up to 35. The hijack calls, the cutoff, who is something of a maniac, makes it 85 and on 3 bet sizing. Small blind cold calls, we call, hijack calls, and here we go. We're off again to another wild one. 5 ways for $85. The flop's a dry one. It comes down Jack 7-7 rainbow, and it checks through. Turns an ace, bringing in a backdoor flush draw possibility, and once again it checks through. The river is interesting because we have now made a straight. The small blind makes it $215, and I think we have a relatively face-up trivial call here. I think it's a little too thin to raise when everybody's uncapped, and we have 4 opponents. The hijack now makes it $525 out of nowhere, representing an extremely strong hand. The small blind calls, and I think our decision's close, mostly because of price. But I really think on a relative basis, our hand is not that strong here, facing 4 opponents. We decide to fold. The small blind shows trips with 7-5. It's somehow good. The hijack mucks, and we throw away the best hand. Big mistake by us. So we're in a different seat now. We've moved into the 2-hole. When we pick up ace-queen off on the button, facing a hijack open and a cutoff call, we go ahead and make it 225. And the hijack calls and the cutoff folds. So we're going to this pot heads up of 7-3, 2 clubs. Hijack checks to us. We bet 275. Hijack quickly folds, and we drag a small one. In this next hand, we pick up 8-7 of diamonds on the button, and our friend, who we've been referencing repeatedly, makes it 40 to go. The small blind is a highly intoxicated guy who I'm trying to keep in, so I just call on the button, small blind calls, and we go to the flop 3 ways. We get a 6-5, 2 flop, I flop the world, open-ended straight flush draw, but our cutoff bets 125 into 130, so we just proceed with the call, and the small blind calls as well. On the turn, our friend bets a little smaller now. He goes with 235. We call, and once again, the small blind calls. So we got a pot brewing here. We're looking for a straight or a diamond. Anything can work, and we get a gin ball. We hit a flush. They both check to us. I bet a little under half, 5.25, and unfortunately, they both quickly fold, but a decent pot, ship it. Okay, moving forward now, the small blind from the previous hand has been kicked out for being drunk, and we're currently playing 3-handed. The small blind, a very passive player I have about a 15-hour sample with, makes it 75 to go. Big blind action guy calls, and we decide to call on the button with 8-7 of clubs. Flop is beautiful. 8-8-4, 2-tone, we got trips. Let's go, baby. Small blind bets 110, big blind gets out of the way, and we have a close decision but decide to call. Turn brings in the flush, and our villain blocks 200. Didn't really know what to do here, but again, went with the call. On the river here, our villain now goes with the double block, and we decide to call, not really knowing what any of it means, as he shows black aces. And we probably didn't play this hand the best that we could, but we defeat black aces with trips. Probably left some value on the table. Into the next one here, we pick up pocket tens, one of the best hands in poker. The match is all of a sudden heads up battle. 10-20 blinds is what my friend said he wanted to play. So we go from 5-10 to 10-20. We're in the action. He makes it 60 to go from the small blind. We're gonna bump it up here, make it look like 240. We got pocket tens heads up. And our friend, not to be deterred, always an action guy, puts in the call. Flop is a pretty good one here. It's Jack-Jack-7 2-tone, and on these paired boards, I'm usually going to start with a range bet of 1/3, and that's exactly what I do. I bet $160. My friend puts in the call, and we're headed to a turn. The turn is a complete break, and oftentimes when I start with a range bet of 1/3, I'm going to be checking on the turn. That's what I do, and he puts in a pretty small bet of $255. I don't think there's much to do here. We probably have the best hand, and I think we're just gonna put in the call. Looking for a good river to help us out. Pot's getting pretty big here, and boom, gin. We hit the 10 of diamonds. This is a sweet card. Our friend can have diamonds. Our friend can have trips. There's so many different things he can have, and we don't have a lot of options here. We've got $2,200 left, and we're just gonna have to go Rip City all in.
All in and a call.
Are you kidding me?
He's bumping the table, making my camera go all over the place.
بعدش باید بخونم ساعت 1 داشت مشروع
Cursing in his native language, you love to see it. Dragging in damn near a 6K pot. The 10-20 heads-up battle is still going, and we pick up our absolute favorite hand. This is Live King's favorite hand, Ace-King offsuit. He opens to 55. We make it $220 to go with the Ace-King, and we go to a flop where we flop the lovely top pair. We put in a C-bet, and our friend quickly shoves his entire stack, $1,225, and we snap call.
Once or twice?
Whatever you want.
Twice.
Twice.
Okay.
Scott C, 300 to 500 no limit. Scott C, between the 500. Scott.
Yours.
Okay.
You ran already?
Yours.
We reveal our hand. He shows us that he made hearts on board number 2, and a $2,890 pot is chopped. Somewhat anticlimactic to finish off this session.
Hey everybody, just closing out our session here at Hollywood Park. Weird session. Game was pretty good. It was mostly 5-10, a little bit of 20. The game got short and quickly became a heads-up match between me and a guy who was giving a significant amount of action. So I didn't want to leave and was hoping some people were going to sit. He wanted to take the 5-10 game and make it a 10-20 blind game, so we played 10-20 heads-up. I am not a heads-up player. I'm not a heads-up specialist. I don't consider myself to be good at heads-up. I probably certainly had an edge on this guy. So I sat it, hoping some people would sit. So I wanted to sit there and give him some action. I think, like, this is what we're supposed to do. It's kind of like, I deem it to be the right thing to do. A lot of weird things happened inside of Hollywood Park tonight. Basically what kind of like broke up my game is a guy got kicked out, security had to come over, then the woman next to me at a table also got kicked out. So just like a lot of action here on a Friday night, people getting mouthy with people, getting upset. Just kind of like the typical, not atypical craziness for this profession. This shit just happens. It's just surrounded in poker rooms. I think a lot of poker players are like totally immune to it. Sorry, plane going by here. We're right next to the airport, so it's a little bit loud. The thing I want to say is at the end, I did something I don't normally do. I felt bad about quitting the guy heads up, but he was playing sub 100 big blinds, and I'm tired, and I just really didn't want to play anymore. So I offered to give him a flip.
Yeah, we're gonna do one flip for $450. Okay, one flip, $450. Because we've been playing heads up for a while, and I was hoping some people were gonna come.
500.
Okay, one flip for $500.
You know, for those of you who don't know, a flip is just you each get your 2 cards and they run a full board of 5, and whoever wins wins. It's neutral EV. I mean, we had to pay $1 to the rake, but it's not a big deal. So upon quitting the guy, like, I just think it's professional and the right thing to do to offer him a flip. I offered him one flip. Of course, I won that flip for $500. He then wanted to flip off for the rest of his stack.
We do 2 flip, all in, okay?
I agreed to it, even though I didn't want to, which is why I said one flip in the beginning. But again, you don't want to be a nit when you're a pro in this game. Like, you want to give action. This guy was an action guy, and we got to give him some action. So I promised him, okay, one more flip, win, lose, or draw. I don't care. 795. I'm not doing any more. We flipped. I got 7 deuce suited. He won the flip. I think I made a pair of 7s, or deuces, and he made a pair of kings. I was into the game for 3,000 total. I was out for 58.51. That was a profit of 28.51. So anyway, that's it. Yale Greenfield, aka Live King, out from this session at Hollywood Park.